Hey guys, welcome back to Film Spire. Today we'll talk about the most nauseating moments on Dr. Pimple Popper. Let's head into it. Teenage third bag baby.
I was wondering, nobody's coming over here, but Daddy creeped over here. Did you see that one, Dad? That one was pretty big.
Being a teenager and dealing with acne breakouts pretty much go hand in hand. For most of us, the remedy is simple. You either pop your zits, you give them time to disappear, or you smother your face with various creams and washes to hopefully make the process go faster. Or if you're at least one lucky teenager, you go and visit one of the world's most famous dermatologists who pops your zits for you and sends you home with a clearer skin in just a few minutes. In a new Instagram video, Dr. Pimple Popper removes a cluster of blackheads from a teenager's face. During the procedure, she uses a comb-down extractor to make the process easier and safer. While common in adolescence, blackheads can be easily treated with a regular skincare regimen. In her latest Instagram post, Dr. Pimple Popper gleefully helps a teenager prepare for the school year by extracting a cluster of blackheads on his face. In the video, she uses her signature comb-down extractor tool to gently press down on each of the blackheads, which is less likely to cause irritation. Of course, there are also simpler, more tried and true methods of fighting acne breakouts. For teens and adults alike, you would want to look for a face wash that contains salicylic acid. Salicylic acid has a particular predilection for pores. It gets right in there and loosens them so the plugs come out of their own. Here are some more expert approved picks. Fried or rather raw chicken.
There we go.
In a new YouTube video, Lee snips at a stubborn lipoma that just won't seem to let go of its host's shoulder. Dr. Pimple Popper decides to nickname this particular growth the lumpia lipoma, a cheeky play on the patient's conversation about the famous Filipino dish during the extraction procedure. In a new YouTube video, Dr. Pimple Popper removes a stubborn lipoma from a patient's shoulder. Lee uses a pair of scissors to snip at the fatty mass after attempts to pop the lipoma out fail. Lipomas are benign tumors made up of fat tissue that are painless and commonly grow on the upper back. A lipoma is a benign tumor made up of fat tissue. The growths are usually painless and commonly grow on the upper back area, as with the patient in Dr. Lee's latest video. What can be painful, however, is wrestling with a lipoma, which is why Dr. Pimple Popper first uses a local anesthetic to numb her patient. The brave patient later says the procedure tickles, leading Lee to call her a pro. At first, Lee tussles with the fatty tissue with her finger in an attempt to loosen the mass and pop it out. Though some lipomas pop with ease, this lumpia lipoma is very stubborn and won't budge. When plan A fails, Lee decides to snip at the tissue bit by bit to extract the lipoma. As always, Dr. Pimple Popper wins the fight against the lipoma, stitching up her patient with expert precision. Razor bumps? In her latest
Well, hello, sir. It's Dr. Lee. Nice to meet you.
You too.
You were Todd, right?
Yes.
In her latest YouTube video, Dr. Pimple Popper removes a large bump on the back of a woman's leg. In the video, Lee mentions that the patient has been dealing with a bump for close to 5 years, but that thankfully it'll be easy to take care of. In a new YouTube video, Lee removes a large bump on a woman's leg. She says the patient has been dealing with a bump for almost 5 years. She adds that the bump is reminiscent of a skin tag and compares it to a large jellyfish-shaped lipoma. Using her scalpel, she traces around the edge of the bump, mentioning that it's like a large skin tag or lipoma. It's like a jellyfish, she says. I should start calling them jellyfish lipomas. Given the size of the lipoma, Dr. Pimple Popper removes it with relative ease. The patient mentions that it's hindered her ability to wear certain types of clothing, and Lee adds that she'll now be able to wear a bathing suit in public without feeling self-conscious. And if you enjoyed watching the bump get removed, you're apparently in luck. Before the video ends, Dr. Pimple Popper reveals that a patient coming onto her TLC show is dealing with a similar growth, but one that's nearly 3 times the size and hanging from his inner thigh. You'll have to wait until